Bonsoir, je m'appelle Joe, j'ai 11, je suis américain, j'ai étudié le français un mois entier, donc 4 semaines. Je suis content de mes progrès, j'ai fini le niveau 1 de Pimsleur. So I make mistakes every day, and in my intro, I'm sure I just made some. But 1 month ago, I didn't know a single word of French, and I attribute that to all this learning directly to Pimsleur. I know it's a beginner program, um, but it was still difficult for a few reasons. It's hard to respond in the allocated time that Pimsleur provides without pausing, without any working knowledge of it before. It's hard to adjust with verb conjugation, words being cut off or blended together. And sometimes for motivational purposes, it's just hard to complete um, due to consistency. Life wants to get in the way. Ultimately, you have to stay motivated, and that's exactly what I did. For the last 30 days, I didn't take a single day off. I studied the previous day lesson in the morning, matin, and the new lesson at night, nuit. And that's kind of what I've been doing throughout the day. When I see something that I know or a word that I know, I'll repeat it back to myself. It sounds really silly, whatever, I don't care. Even when I'm in the store, in Pimsleur, we learned up to 199. So, I might say 199. Uh, and I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I would do that to myself. And, I would just say any of the numbers or any of the words that I know, du café, we just learned milk, so du lait, um, silly things like that. And during my 30 days, I watched 2 seasons of Marseille, I told you guys about, and 3 seasons of Call My Agent, which I just finished. I love them both. I mentioned in previous videos that I started that I was listening to Stromae. Love him. I am getting a little burnt out because I don't know too many French artists. And I remember in 2010, I went to Toulon, and there was a song called Désolé by Section d'Assaut. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but um, I started listening to them too. I love them. So if you guys have any music ideas or of artists or any Netflix series or anything like that, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll be happy to check them out. Believe me. So I want to provide you guys with the weekly update and my overall impression of Pimsleur. I have zero regrets. The one problem with the program being audio only is I was constantly using an app called um, I went over this in my last video, My Language Pro. It's this one right here. And what's nice about it is if in Pimsleur, if they say something like, how are you? And they say, comment allez-vous? And say I didn't understand what they said, then um, I would type in, how are you? And then I would hit translate. It would give me the written transcription. So I have something in front of my face, and then I can click the audio button, and then it would repeat back the pronunciation of how you're saying it, and you could read while listening, which is really, really nice. And that's something I wish Pimsleur had. Um, so you can go through the lessons. I think it would be really, really helpful. But it may also be a negative to it if people leaned on it too hard as a crutch. But for me, everybody's got their own style of learning and their own preferred learning methods. I just think for me, sometimes I wish I had that visual uh, method available, and that wasn't. So that is a negative. But a pro, it's a natural progression. Uh, when you speak to a native speaker, you don't have a transcription in front of you. So maybe there's a method to the madness. I don't know. Um, a big part of everything sticking, though. However, I did the previous lesson in the morning, and then at night I did the new lesson. In by doing repeating lessons, I just felt the more you complete them, they may be hard at first. The more you complete them, the more you study, the easier they become, and that's just like anything. Once I got to lesson 22, they added a native speaker, an additional one. I can't understand anything this guy's saying. I don't know where this guy came from or what part of France. And I don't mean to make fun. It took me like four or five times going through the same lesson. in the same day because I wanted to stay on my 30-day pace. I was really frustrated at first, and it got easier and easier and more comfortable with the lessons. Don't give up on it. Um, but it did get better. It did get easier. Again, it's a beginner course, and I thought there's a little bit of self doubt. Um, but if everybody else is getting through it, there's no reason why you can't either. So some of the things that I learned, remember, this isn't a big vocab takeaway thing. It's not 625 most common French words or anything like that. It's to help with immediate response time and to work on the pronunciation. I feel you get that from this. So things I learned was like bonjour and au revoir, demain, ce soir, aujourd'hui. Learn about man, woman, child, enfant, garçon, fille, femme, or femme, mari. How much is a beer? Which I'll probably be using. C'est combien d'une bière? Du vin for wine. We just learned milk, so du lait, I think, du lait, or lulait, lait, Lait. Um, take it easy with that one because we just learned that one. But stuff like that, vous êtes ici depuis combien de temps? How long have you been here? Um, just real basic stuff, the numbers again. I can't think of anything specifically, but my immediate response time has gotten a lot better. My pronunciation's got a lot better. It's not perfect. Again, don't beat me up. Just trying to give a review here. Um, but from day one, I've definitely progressed, and that's the reason why I'm going to jump to Pimsleur Level 2 tomorrow. I want that good pronunciation. I want to be understood by native speakers, but I really need to work on that R sound. And I know I said it in the other videos, but I'm going to be working on that quite a bit. So watching YouTube videos before trying to contact a tutor on italki. I'd like to wait until I finish Pimsleur Level 2. And then I'd like to finish this too before I speak to a tutor. It's the French with Ease, Asimil. I don't want to waste their time by coming to them without knowing anything. I'd rather have at least uh, my version of a basic understanding of sentence structure. And I know this is going to be a forever learning process, but I'd like to be a little bit more prepared. I don't want to learn dog and cat if I could learn that on my own. Uh, I'd like it to be a little bit more higher, a little bit deeper of a conversation. But as for Asimil, I wasn't going to start it for another month, and then I just happened to crack the book because I'm getting anxious here. Um, and I saw the first. Let me see if I can show you the first lesson. You can see it says, "Pardon, madame, où est le métro Saint-Michel?" So we learned that in Pimsleur. Excuse me, ma'am, where's the metro station? You know, um, I don't think this is going to be. It's going to get difficult. I'm not doubting that. But to go ahead and get started with it, I'm pretty anxious. I think it's going to fill in the gaps with some of that visual method learning that I was talking about earlier. I've also downloaded a space repetition software called Anki to make my own flashcards. I'll make a video later on. I know this video is dragging on. I want to keep it under 10 minutes for all my videos, 5 to 7 ideally. But as promised, I wanted to give you a video, give you an update, and I wanted to let you know how Pimsleur's going. I'm starting this tomorrow. I'm starting Pimsleur Level 2 tomorrow. But again, thank you guys for watching. Any Netflix series, any kind of movies, any kind of um concerts, or any like artists, songs, please put them in the comment section. And if there's any constructive comments or feedback or any possible resources that may add some value to me, don't be shy. Like, put it in. I'm not gonna take offense to it. I don't pretend to know the language. I don't. This is just what I've learned in my past 30 days, and I'm going to continue learning for a long time. So again, thank you guys for watching. Merci beaucoup, au revoir, and bonne nuit.